Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for your time and attention. And first of all, I would like to thank the CESRAN committee for that opportunity to present to you my paper. Thank you very much. The subject which I would like to present to you is actually American isolationism, which is a rather tricky concept, actually. Thank you. Now it's no. How can I move?
Duarte.
Of course. Thank you very much.
If you want, you can start.
Of course. So at first, I would like to tell you something about the flaws, actually, which which suffers the problematic concept, actually. So the first big problem about this concept is actually that it has rather fluid content. It is non-specific and not clearly specific. It is rather vaguely abstract term, actually. Also, it has a very big qualitative timbre, and for most of the time, the term was used as the very pejorative and very tendentious term. Actually, it was political slur. Also, in the media and also in political debates, but even in academical debates, the term is used also as some unspecified category, which is like intuitively clear from the context what it means actually, but not clearly and explicitly stated very often. Hence, these are the motives actually which motivates me to take this research actually. Oh, not yet. Oh, never mind. So, oh, never mind. Oh, thank you very much. Now, thank you very much. Nice. And here we can see my research puzzle. Actually, what I would like to know is actually which specific policy measures should a statesman and stateswoman should do to be labeled as isolationist, and if labeled that way, how much isolationist were they actually? It's not clear nowhere actually. The other thing which is not clear is also whether the existing perceptions of that very term can allow to use the concept to be applied actually to earlier isolationist period, but also to the current foreign policy. Hence, my research question is, what was the specific level of isolationism in an administration from the isolationist period under the typical interpretation of American history, and in an administration from the current period? Now, in literature, we can actually identify a trio of currents or groups which every has a slightly different approach toward the concepts. Actually, the first of them actually didn't believe in the very existence of the phenomenon, and it actually states that the concept is mere myth or just a misinterpretation of the historical facts. It is actually due to two facts. The first of them is that author from this group of writers have an excessive concentration on economic diplomacy, on economic interaction, and hence they didn't see no isolation, they see only cooperation. Another big problem is that they tackle the term in an overly general sense, like total isolation in also economic and cultural era. Hence, they didn't see any isolationism. The second stream actually sees the concept in much narrower political security terms. And they see the isolationism as non-interventionism and unilateralism. But there is one big problem actually, because those authors actually cannot to differentiate between the unilateral policies under the flag of isolationism and between the mere unilateralism, because those two policies are interchangeable, and it's not clear how they can actually differentiate them. And the third stream is actually the approach of one author. It is Bear Braumuller, and he sees the isolationism as voluntary and general abstention by a state from security-related activity in some geographical area where the given state has capabilities to act actually. This is the very important aspect because if actually state isn't capable to act there, so we cannot see his inaction as isolationism, because it basically has no other chance. But also there is one big problem, because his formulation is too general and it's not clearly stated specifically what his conceptualization actually encompasses. Hence, I have slightly different approach toward the term. Actually, I follow the steps of the second and third streams, but at the same time, I have, I would say, a rather original approach. I see the isolationist policies as one of the potential responses of the key decision makers to some sudden, unexpected crisis, foreign policy crisis, actually. And no politician is completely isolationist. Such are only ideal cases. Also, the choice of an isolationist position or stance may be potentially present in the decisions of any statesman and any administration, according to my conceptualization. Hence, it is characterized by political disengagement, non-interventionism, in a geographical area where the state has capabilities to act, and at the same time, in a case where there is an imminent threat to the US citizens and also to the security, national security of the United States. In that case, this stance is also willing to undertake unilateral intervention within the limits of so-called defensive or minimal realism. Now, you can see clearly that my conception is very intertwined with the concept of intervention. Actually, I can see two forms of intervention. It is, first, it's an act that undermines the security of a given non-friendly, be it state or non-state actor. And secondly, it may be also act that increases the security capabilities and capacities of its opponents. It means strategic partners of the United States. So the confrontational variant, it might be done by direct military strike, but also indirect subversion, sabotage, cyber attacks, and so on. Also, it might be done through the economic sanctions. Then there is support for strategic partners, and it might be done by political security or military terms, or by economic assistance. Also, I have two isolationist conditions which help me to distinguish unilateral intervention under the banner of isolationism from merely unilateral policies. The first one of them is actually that the motive for the very intervention was an imminent, already stated, imminent threat to the state security and to a significant number of US citizens. The second of these isolationist conditions are that before the implementation or authorization of the intervention, there should be evidence that the government tried before this less confrontational means. I mean, like economical or diplomatical means. And also, intervention by strategic support should be initiated only in an attempt to avoid a direct confrontation. Now you can see summarizing table which show us actually those three components which I just mentioned, and also there's manifestations in actual foreign policy. Also, you can see some antonyms of isolationism. Each of them are related to different component of the isolationism. Now, I would like to tell you something about the methodology which I used in that analytical framework. So its objective is clearly stated. It's to determine the level of isolationism in any given administration from 1918. Because in the ICB database, which I use actually, there are data only to those after the First World War. Also, you can see that the formula for how to determine the level of isolationism is actually the ratio between number of isolationist responses, which president and other key decision makers adopted during the mandate, and total number of crises which occurred during the mandate as well. Also, there is one last variable, which is also very important, and it is intensity of isolationist responses. Because even if you have, for example, two administrations, and they have the same level, the same number of isolationist responses, and also during their mandates, the same total number of crises occurred. So there might be some qualitative difference between them. And this is the intensity of their responses, because it's a big difference if from the sky fall some ballistic rockets or just broadcasting from the Voice of America. So that's the formula, and this is how it is reflected. Also, I would like to take a closer look to that variable value of intensity. There you can see that actually the basis for the deriving of the value is actually the classification used by the ICB database. They actually differentiate eight possible responses of the United States, from the not reacting at all to the direct military intervention, and to each of them, I put their value of intensity. It is like notional strength on the one axis when the smallest value is 1 and the highest is 6. And then another very important variable is number of isolationist responses. And this is the part where I use selection procedure. Actually, it's a list of four conditions, and these conditions serve as a procedure which could give me the exact number of situations when administrations actually took the isolation steps. It is there implemented the aspects which are show you previously. As you can see, there are all of them, but we have unfortunately no time to look at them. So it is very briefly. And now you can see the summary table, which can show you how my conception is related to the terminology of the ICB project. You can see also in the third column the intensity of value of responses. And also you can see from the last column how those responses are actually related or subjective to which selective condition. Now, I applicate that framework actually to a pair of administration. The first of them was the administration of Warren G. Harding, who died after 2 years in his office, and his office was taken consequently by his vice president Calvin Coolidge. And the second presidency was actually that of Barack H. Obama, which was actually the last one, the most recent one, to which we have complete data on the ICB database. As you can see, actually, it's not so surprising that the level of isolationism, which you can see in the graph number 2, of the presidency of Warren G. Harding and Calvin Coolidge, it is much higher. But what is interesting here is how precisely it is higher when we compare it to the isolationism of Barack Obama. Then you can also see that one of the most isolationist administration of the 20th and 21st century, that of Warren G. Harding and Calvin Coolidge, it has a level of isolationism only not really 64%, but it is still 5.5 higher than that of Barack Obama. Now, what does it mean? So I think that application of this framework to the all presidencies after 1918 could actually give us a very, very interesting perspective to the direction and trajectory of US foreign policy in the 20th and 21st century. Also, I think that this could be taken as a proof that actually a framework is applicable to the eras which are usually interpreted like golden eras of isolationism, but also to the eras which are described most often as years of deep engagement. So regardless of the interpretation of that era. And I think that it could be the first step on the path to deepen our knowledge about the phenomenon of isolationism. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. And
Thank you.